Welcome to Caregiver Counsel, Elder Law Insights with Tieesha Taylor.
This is Caregiver Counsel, Elder Law Insights with Tieesha Taylor, a podcast built on compassionate generational legal services. I'm Tieesha Taylor, the founder and CEO of the elderly care law firm in South Florida. Now, in today's episode, I'm joined by Jose Jimenez with All Star Capital Group, who works closely with families on retirement planning and long-term care costs. And together we'll talk about how caregiving affects family finances and what families can do to prepare for the future. Welcome, Jose.
Thank you, Tieesha. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Can you please start by telling our listeners a little bit about yourself?
My name is Jose Jimenez, and I am the president of All Star Capital Group. I began my career in the financial services business 29 years ago, and I'm also a member of various financial or professional organizations, nationally including the $1 Million Roundtable, National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors, and I'm also a speaker for SOFA, which is the Society for Financial Awareness. It's a nonprofit national organization that mission is to end financial literacy across America, one community at a time.
Many families are surprised at just how expensive long-term care can be. From your perspective, what do families need to understand early about those costs?
What they need to understand is that you want to start the process when you're young, in the earlier years, right? A lot of families wait till they get older, and then they can run into issues of health, maybe not being able to qualify. The younger you are, the less the cost is going to be. So they need to really start the process in their early years.
Yeah, that's something that we discuss with our clients all the time when they come and see us regarding long-term care costs. And that's very important to start early. Now, how does caregiving, whether they do it part-time or full-time, how does that affect a person's retirement planning, in your opinion?
Well, we see a lot of times where someone is, they're working full time, and now they have to, start working part time. Not only are they going to be able to, make less income, but they're also not going to have to work longer and prolong their retirement than expected. So it's something that you really have to, whenever you find yourself in this situation, seek professional advice to see what you need to do to make any changes or improve the current situation that you may find yourself in.
And then what are some common mistakes you see families make when they're trying to pay for care? I know in our practice, we see lots of mistakes, but I want to hear from you, your perspective. What common mistakes do you see families make when they're trying to pay? Because, of course, care costs can be very expensive.
And we see this quite often where, people just don't plan. And then, when that's happened, that now you got to start planning for care. What they end up doing is taking money from their savings and their retirement accounts to pay for care when the money was set up there to actually to fund their lifestyle in their retirement years. So that is a huge concern because, some of these people, depending on what they have set aside, may run out of money and now find themselves in a situation where they can't fund their lifestyle and at the same time not be able to pay for their care.
Yeah, that's a great point. And when you talk about fund their lifestyle, maybe they enjoy traveling or even just paying for their basic expenses, maybe like a mortgage or other expenses that they have on a monthly basis or annual basis.
That,
Now, yeah, go ahead.
that is correct. Yep, that is correct.
For people who feel like they're already behind in saving, what steps can they take now to prepare for future care needs?
Great question. And I think that question we need to really have to answer four questions to be able to answer that question. These are the four questions that I would share with anybody that is in this situation. The first question would be, what rate of return that you have to earn on your savings and investments to be able to retire at your current standard of living and have your money last through life expectancy? That would be one. Second question is, how much do you need to save on a monthly basis to be able to retire your current standard of living and have your money last to life expectancy? The third question would be, doing what you're doing currently, how long would you have to work to be able to retire and live through lifestyle to life expectancy? And the last question is, if you don't do anything different than what you're doing today, how much would you have to reduce your standard of living when you retire? So I think that these questions need to be answered to see where you're at today and what you need to do, because otherwise we're not going to have a roadmap when it comes, to retirement.
Oh, Very helpful, Jose. I definitely sitting down and addressing each of those questions. I hope our listeners will sit down and really explain and put it in writing if necessary and think about those questions you just presented because it will allow them to have a roadmap to the future and what their needs are.
Yes.
Now, how does life insurance or other financial tools fit into the planning picture?
Yeah, this is really, this another great question. In life insurance, a couple of things I will share. One is protection for when life happens, and life does happen, right?
Yes, it does.
Uh, Two is get money in the event of a qualifying health emergency that happens. You can use life insurance to be able to do that. Tap as a potential source of retirement income. And the last is protect what matters the most and leave a legacy for loved ones. So life insurance is a tool that can really help in many different areas.
Great. Yeah, when we discuss, when we sit down and we consult with our clients, we're discussing life insurance as an option and we're talking about leaving legacies for their families because a lot of families want to leave legacies for their children, their grandchildren, or even any type of heir that they have. So that's great advice. Now, what advice do you give adult children who want to help their parents prepare financially but don't know where to start?
I would say find a trusted advisor that can help you put a plan together. You have to seek help, professional help. So find someone that can really help you put a plan together and accomplish those goals in the short term and long term.
And can you just share? I know a lot of our listeners love to hear stories, real life stories, but can you share a story about a family who planned well or one who didn't and what others can learn from their experience?
So I have so many stories, but yeah, one that comes to mind is I had a client that this is a lady that passed away some years ago, and as I started to work with her, every time that we met, every annual review, she was always eager to take the next step and do what needed to be done. She did her wills, her trust, all her insurance policies in place. That by the time that she got sick and she passed away, it was really amazing see the planning come into play from her funeral expenses, from her health care that she was able to take, the care that she was able to get, and then at her passing, how many family members she was able to touch. Her niece was able to start a business with the money that she left for her. All the family members were able to go to school. All the family members were able to pay their home. And so this is planning that she did. But what did she do? She took the time to start planning.
Yes, yes. That's a wonderful story. And that's also a story of what we just previously discussed is about creating a legacy for her family. So
Yeah.
she created a legacy for her family to continue. Now, for caregivers listening who feel overwhelmed by the financial side of caregiving, what's the single most important step they can take today?
I think the most important thing is okay to ask for help from either family members or seek professional advice. It's very hard to do it alone, emotionally and physically. In the last 24 hours, I had a client come to the office yesterday, and she came, and most of the conversation was she's a caregiver at this point in time, how stressed she is, how emotionally drained she is, how she doesn't have any help. It's not easy to be a caregiver. Sometimes we feel that, we have to do it all alone, that, we don't have anybody. And I think that as a caregiver, it's okay to ask for help, seek help. Couple hours ago, another lady, another phone call, same situation, overwhelmed, stressed emotionally, because most of the times the focus is on the patient, the person that is having the issue. And
Mhm.
kind of the caregiver is a person that we really never think about, or if we do, but I mean, I think first of all, it's so honorable for somebody to be a caregiver, to be doing what they're doing, because it's a full-time 24-hour a day 7 day a week job. And it's just awesome to see the people that step up and say we will do it.
Great, great. Well, Jose, this has been so invaluable. A lot of the information you provided will be extremely beneficial for our listeners. Now, if any of our listeners want to get in contact with you, how can they reach you?
They can just go to our website, allscgroup.com, www.allscgroup.com, or they can call our office at 305-252-0113.
Great, thank you. That's all for today's episode of Caregiver Counsel, Elder Law Insights. And a big thank you to Jose for sharing such valuable guidance on how families can prepare financially for long-term care while still protecting their future. Now, if you'd like to learn more about compassionate elder law services, visit elderlycarelawfirm.com. And if this episode was helpful, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who may be caring for a loved one right now. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.